Happy Wednesday. I'm Danielle with Bhav Brigade. This is Keegan. So we are well into our practicing at home for Bhav Brigade. If you are returning to Bhav classes, whether in the before time of face-to-face classes or the online classes, thanks for coming back. If you are new to Bhav Brigade, welcome. We are so grateful to be able to practice with you and find community, even if it's through our screens for now. I will work out a couple of announcements and then we can get into our practice. First, I have been practicing with props since I've been at home. I encourage you, if you have blocks, you can grab them, a sturdy book or a sturdy flat top water bottle might work. I'm sitting on a blanket, so if you want to grab a blanket, a towel, a pillow, anything that is going to make your practice more comfortable. We have plenty of classes that our teachers are offering in different formats online, so I encourage you to visit our Facebook page or our Instagram account and our webpage, which reminds me, I think I need to double check to see if that's been updated, because our classes are consistent in some ways. At least the Wednesday class that I offer is available every week, and we have teachers that are offering classes on their individual pages that we're promoting on Bhav that you can check out to see if that works for your schedule. And we are always open to suggestions. If there are particular types of classes or poses or certain kind of theme that you're looking for, please shoot us a note on one of our various platforms. And with all of that said, let's begin our practice. I am seated with my hips propped up a little bit on a blanket. I encourage you to find a comfortable seat. I'm going to close my eyes. I invite you to do the same. And just kind of arrive in your space, knowing that a slow, intentional practice is ahead of you, both in breath and movement. Over the years, I've been teaching more slow but strengthening flow classes for Bhav, and I've noticed over these 5-6 weeks or whatever, I've lost count of the online classes, I'm moving and teaching even more slowly, and a couple of those reasons. One, some of you may know that I have asthma, so moving, flowing, breathing, and speaking all at the same time for a full hour can take its toll. And more than anything right now, we need to conserve our breath and use it intentionally and mindfully. So that's one of the reasons that teaching and moving more slowly during this online time helps me conserve my breath and energy so that I can be of better service to myself and to the rest of you. I said there were 2 reasons. Oh, and the second reason, because there may be some new folks that are joining us, given this opportunity, if I can boldly use that language rather than just focusing on the negative of being stuck at home, these opportunities to connect to new communities online. So it is, I think, more accessible to teach slowly and mindfully, since I can pause once in a while to break down a pose now and then. But more often than not, we're going to be moving slowly, but this is your practice. If I am cueing at a pace that you're looking for a little bit more rapid movement to build some heat, to build more energy, then of course that is totally up to you. If in fact you need or would like to move more slowly than I am cueing, you have that space and the time to do that. To notice where your breath is today, notice how your body feels. Now bring the elbows underneath the shoulders if they've wandered. Palms at the heart space, let the shoulders settle in away from the ears. Feel rooted at the hips, but tall through the crown of the head. Take a deep breath in. Sigh it out. Inhale. And if it's in your practice to set an intention and seal it with a round of Om, I will cue us through that round of optional Om, or you could take another deep exhalation. So take a round of natural breath. Exhale all the stale air out. Inhale for Om. Inhale, flutter the eyes open. Bring the palms down, and if you've been sitting cross-legged for these last few minutes, as I have, go ahead and switch the cross of the legs, and then get settled again. And then bring the palms around the knees, or you can place them on the thighs, but it all depends on your arm torso length. My arms are pretty long, so I like to wrap the palms around the knees. On an inhale, lengthen through the torso as you reach your heart forward. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. And on an exhale, press into the palms, round, pulling the chin in toward the chest. Really exaggerate that movement. So the pelvis draws back on that exhale. Inhale, spill the heart and the pelvis forward, shoulders away from the ears. Continue this kind of seated cat-cow movement at your pace. Extension on the inhale, rounding on your exhale. And we had a request for a class on lengthening and extending, since we might all have some of that desk crunching in the neck and the shoulders. So I think that's a wonderful idea. So think about that lengthening and extending with each inhale, grounding and settling in on each exhale, because the two movements cannot exist without the other. A few more rounds. One more round. On your inhale, come back to neutral. Exhale, side out. Inhale, reach the arms out and overhead. Exhale, palms at the heart space. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, arms out and overhead. Exhale, palms through the heart space. Inhale, out and up. Exhale, down. Let the palms come by the sides. And then roll over to hands and knees. If you have a blanket or a towel, that might be a good prop for your forehead for our first child's pose. If you have a block, that could be a prop for your forehead. Or in fact, I'm going to demonstrate bringing my palms to the blocks, which particularly can help lengthen the shoulders even more without, sometimes if we're feeling that they're crunching toward our ears. So, find a comfortable space on your mat where you can widen the knees to a point most comfortable for you. Big toes come together. I like to have some space for my belly, but sometimes it's good to have compression for the belly if your knees are closed. Whatever you're looking for. And now slowly, we're going to come into this one, just a little more easily, gracefully, slide the palms forward. I'm bringing my palms to the blocks, drawing the hips back, and then let the forehead come to the earth. So stay here for a few breaths. I'm going to lift up just a moment so I can more easily project. With your forehead toward the earth, can you lengthen through the back of the neck rather than trying to crunch where more of the hairline area comes toward the earth? Try more that space between the eyebrows. So length through the back of the neck. Shoulders coming away from the ears. This is child's pose, balasana. If it feels like a place of rest and renewal for you, I encourage you to find it in between our flows or at any time. And of course, a comfortable seat could be a nice place of rest as well. On an inhale, slowly walk the palms back towards the knees. Bring the knees together. We're just sitting on the knees as a transition. And on an inhale, lift the shoulders. So we are on the knees. If, and in fact, I say if because I'm so used to cueing that in our face-to-face classes, but since I do have a blanket here, I'm going to say, I encourage you to find some padding for your knees. if you've got a towel, pillow, or a blanket. And now bring the knees hip width apart. Up to you if you want the toes tucked or toes flat. I'm gonna have the toes flattened. Inhale, reach up. Feel the shoulders come away from the ears. Pull the lower ribs in. Exhale, bring the palms down. We're gonna walk slowly through this one. Shift the shoulders so they're on top of the palms. Lift the toes as you come down a quarter or a half, about halfway. So the shoulders and elbows are about in the same line. Draw the elbows in toward the ribs. Feel the lower ribs pull in. Maybe you're shaking just a little bit. We're moving slow on this first one. Now inhale, release the toes to the earth, reach the arms up. We'll do one breath, one movement. Exhale, palms down, toes lift. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, finding our half chaturanga, toes lifting. Inhale, reaching up with the arms. Exhale, palms down, toes lift. 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale. Last round. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, half chaturanga, lifting the toes. Inhale, just coming back to sit, just as a transition. I'm gonna bring your heels out to the side. I'm gonna move my blanket out of the way. And now let's find a downward facing dog. We're gonna keep moving with it before we find some stillness. So from your tabletop, palms come to the earth, tuck the toes, bend the knees deeply, draw the hips up and back, and then start to bend the knees one at a time if you haven't already. Let the upper arms frame the ears if that feels good. And notice what's happening with your palms. Spread the fingers wide, bring the thumbs in about halfway. We're going to keep moving the knees a little bit, fluidity in the back line of the body. And now slowly bend the knees very deeply, almost to the point that your shins might be parallel. And I notice in these videos when I'm talking in down dog, I'm not in that upside down V because I turn my head up just a little bit to be able to project. So I'm going to work on keeping that demo of kind of an upside down V with my ears in between the upper arms, pressing back. And then slowly let's all start to lengthen the legs without locking through the knees. Heels energetically reaching toward the earth. Trying to resist dumping our weight into the wrists and the palms, so trying to distribute. Can you activate through the upper arms and turn the armpits in a little bit toward the heart space, creating some space between the shoulders and the ears. Look forward. Exhale, slowly walk the feet forward. Half lift on your inhale, so the palms can come to the shins or the fingertips to the earth, or palms to the blocks. Totally up to you. Exhale, fold if you haven't already. And find a closed chain. I'm going to bend my knees deeply. I encourage you to do the same. I'm going to interlace my fingers behind my back for a gentle shoulder stretch with the knees deeply bent. I'm going to shake my head out for a moment. Let the neck be long. And if you're not looking for a shoulder stretch, you can interlace opposite elbows, clasp the fingers behind the neck, whatever feels good. I'm going to find stillness, but maybe you want to sway the upper body a little bit, keeping the hips neutral and the feet grounded. Couple more breaths wherever you are. Exhale, release any bind that you might have. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bring the palms to the hip creases. Gentle bend in the knee. Inhale, hinge up. Maybe reach the arms up. Exhale, palms at the heart space and alongside the body, finding Tadasana. Energetically feel that your heels are lined up behind your second and third toes, knowing you can always look down. That's available to you. Tailbone orients down below you. Fingertips are active. Soften through the base of the neck, through the jaw and the forehead. Take Take a couple breaths here. For our sun salutations, when I cue us to reach our arms up or down, find a motion that feels best for your shoulders and your low back. For some space constraints here, I'm always likely going to reach my arms forward or up or down through heart center to avoid the inoperable fireplace mantle. Well, the mantle's operable, you'll see the books there, but all right, that's enough being silly. Let's come back to our breath. Inhale, arms reach, heart lifts. Exhale, fold it forward. Half lift on your inhale. Exhale, palms press. Maybe you grab the blocks. Step the right foot back to your low lunge. I'm not mirroring you right now. I'm moving at the same rate as the breath that I'm calling out. So right now you're in your low lunge. Just pausing for a moment, particularly with the blocks. Left knee stacks on top of the left ankle. Notice if you do have blocks, if you bring them up to the highest height, that creates even more space a little bit. Just do what feels good. Now because I have blocks, I'm going to bring them to the lowest height, and I'll demo a couple of rounds of flow with palms on blocks, which might help sometimes with transitions. As you look forward, shine the sternum forward, length through the spine. Exhale, step back, downward facing dog. Notice what's happening with the left hip. Inhale, side out. Inhale, shift forward to plank. That's our upper push-up. We're going to stay here for a full breath if that's available to you, knowing you can release the knees. And now if you haven't already, release the knees just behind the hips, point the toes back behind you. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, because I'm on the blocks, I'm coming halfway down, but if you're not on blocks, come all the way down. Inhale, press the heart forward. If you're in upward dog, lift the knees. If you're in baby cobra, draw the elbows in toward each other, shoulders away from the ears. On your next exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Deep breath in. And a long breath out. Take a couple more rounds of breath here. So you inhale, look forward. Exhale, and as many steps as it takes, step the right foot forward. Notice, right, in our lunge now with the right knee forward, if your palms are on blocks like mine, maybe you bring them up to the highest height. We'll hang out on this side for a few breaths. Draw that right hip back. Really press through the ball of the left foot, length through the spine. Sometimes even coming to tend to the fingertips creates some space. Inhale for length. Exhale, step the left foot forward and as many steps as it takes, folding in. Half lift on your inhale. Exhale, fold. This time, gentle bend of the knee. Inhale, rounding your spine up. Maybe the arms reach. Exhale, palms at the heart and alongside the body. Okay, so we're going to add on to that. We moved pretty slowly on that first one. We're going to continue to move slow, but strengthening. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, fold it forward. Half lift on your inhale. Exhale, palms press up your left foot back. Inhale, look forward to lengthen. Exhale, release the left knee. I'm going to point my toes back. Left palm underneath the left shoulder. Inhale, right palm to the right thigh, length through the spine. Exhale, twist it out to the right. Maybe you inhale, reach the right fingertips up. Trying to stack the shoulders. Being kind to your neck. Exhale, palms frame the right foot. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead, really press into the right foot, Anjaneyasana. And if ever you're having any shoulder issues, maybe you bring the arms out to cactus, maybe you just bring the palms to the heart space, or palms to the hips. You have plenty of options, particularly when you're at home, comfortable knowing that this is your time, your space. I'm going to reach my fingertips up again. Try not to collapse through the pelvic floor. Try to engage the core. Exhale, palms frame the front foot. Tuck the left toes, press back to plank or upper push-up, or of course down dog or finding child's pose. Sternum faces forward. Exhale, release the knees, coming all the way down if that's in your practice. Inhale, I'm demoing baby cobra since I jumped ahead last time. So elbows come toward each other, even the toenails press into the earth, length through the spine, keep breathing. Exhale, finding downward facing dog. Yeah, so sometimes it's just fun to mix it up, take a couple of breaths here. Since I started with blocks, just fit better to find that modified chaturanga. You just heard Keegan shake it out a little bit. I forgot to take his collar off of him, but that'll be some fun sound effects. He's always nearby. If you're wondering where Penny, the other hound, is, she goes to Wags Doggy Daycare once a week, at least for now. She gets playtime, I get some yoga time. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step your left foot forward. So I don't have blocks, so it might take me a little bit more of a reach. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, release the right knee. Lengthen the toes back if that's in your practice. Right palm under the right shoulder. Inhale as you lengthen the spine and the left palm comes to the left thigh. Exhale, twist it out to the left. Inhale, maybe you reach the left fingertips up. Again, trying to stack the shoulders. Tall through the crown of the head. Trying to draw the left hip back in space. One more inhale. Exhale, palms frame the left foot. Tuck the right toes. Lift the right knee. Press back. Plank. Holding steady for a breath, releasing the knees if needed. Inhale, shift slightly forward. Exhale, bend the elbows, come halfway or all the way. Inhale, shine the heart forward. Exhale, finding downward facing dog. Deep breath in. And a long breath out. Inhale. This time step the feet forward, just demoing and working with you on different transitions. So you may have noticed on that last round, we had stepped our back foot forward. Then this past time I mixed it up and had to step back to down dog again. So some of you may have been prepared to step your right foot forward a moment ago, but notice as your feet are wider here, do you have more space to really lift the hips up and back? Bend the knees slightly as you inhale, look forward. Exhale, walk the feet up this way, kind of wide. Then we find a squat. So bend the knees, bring the palms to the heart space, either medium height, or maybe you bring the hips a little bit lower to the earth, using the outer arms to press into the inner thighs. And as you exhale, press into the feet to lift up, reach the arms up. Inhale, Tadasana. Coming back to your breath. Notice where your head space is at, your heart rate, your breath. Do a body scan. I like to do those a couple of times in our practices, from the heels all the way up to the crown of the head. bring the palms to the hips. Exhale, take a quarter of a turn across the width of your mat. I don't know whether to tell you right or left because it depends on which way you're facing in your room and where your camera is. So if you need to readjust, go for it. Feet are parallel for the moment. And this is the time that I will do my best to mirror you. So when I'm facing you and we're going through some standing poses, I will do my best. So turn your right toes out toward the right. On an exhale, as you bend into your right knee. You may want to lengthen the stance just a little bit so your left toes are just coming slightly forward. Shoulders stack on top of the hips. Maybe take even a deeper bend through the right knee. Notice you can see your big right toe. Does anyone's display in or out? You can either choose to stay here or inhale, reach the arms out. Warrior two. Gaze wherever is most comfortable on your neck. Be mindful of giving your belly some space to expand on the breath, but also pulling the navel in enough so that you're helping support your spine in these upright positions. As you inhale, lengthen the right leg, reach the right palm forward. Oh, there comes that hip release. Exhale, the right palm finds the right shin, left palm to the left hip. Draw the hips and shoulders back in space. Be mindful to lock out through the knees, to not lock out through the knees. You can choose to stay here or inhale, reach the left fingertips up. Maybe you find more extension, maybe you ease off. Gentle on your neck, so lift the forehead a little bit above the chin if you're looking up. If you're looking down, that's wonderful too. So inhale, lengthen. Exhale, look down if you're not already. Inhale, use the core coming up. Exhale, bend into the right knee. Bring the right forearm to the right thigh, so you want to bend through the right elbow. And then inhale, reach the left arm up. So the the bicep is going to come along your top ear, left arm, left ear. I'm gazing up, but you may want to gaze down. As long as you're not dumping into your right shoulder and elbow. One long line from the outer edge of your left foot to your left fingertips. Extended side angle. Inhale, use the core, come back up. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, flip the front palm. Exhale, reverse warrior. But that's lengthened through the right leg. So now it becomes kind of a reverse triangle. So the hips are coming back in space. Lengthening through all sides of the torso, not collapsing into your back knee or palm. Just a marker there. Inhale, coming back up. Exhale, warrior two. Breathing in. Breathing out. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, turn both feet parallel, release the arms by the side, and then just kind of sway, bend the knees a little bit, give yourself a bit of a break. And guess what? The other side awaits. So palms at the hips. Exhale, turn your left toes toward the left of your mat as you bend into the left knee. Take a couple moments to work from the foundation up, just as we did on the other side. Maybe you add the arms to it on an inhale. Maybe you bend a little bit deeper on your next exhale. Soften through the base of the neck. Not collapsing into your inner right arch. A couple deep, slow breaths. One more inhale. Inhale, lengthen through the left leg. Reach, reach, reach the left arm forward. Exhale, left palm to the left shin or thigh, right palm to the right hip. Draw everything back in space so the heart is kind of shining up towards the ceiling. Tailbone orients toward your back heel. Maybe you inhale, reach the right arm up. Looking wherever is most comfortable for your body today. Extension through the crown of the head. Couple more breaths here. Exhale, look down if you're not already. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, rebend into warrior two. Bend the left elbow, left forearm to the left thigh. As you exhale, reach the right arm across the right ear. One long line from the outer edge of the right foot to the right fingertips. I'm gazing up, but you can absolutely look down as long as you're not bumping into your left arm. One more round of complete breath here. Inhale, exhale, look down. Inhale, coming back up as you exhale into warrior two. Flip the front palm, reach up and back. Inhale, lengthen through your left leg. Couple breaths here. Inhale, bring the arms back parallel to the ground as you exhale, warrior two. Inhale, lengthen everything. Exhale, turn the feet parallel as you fold, hinging from the hips, palms coming underneath you. Shake the head out for a moment, half lift on your inhale. Exhale, fold. And I've done this previously, but since I can reach my block, I'm going to bring the block underneath my forehead. You may want to widen the feet just a little bit, but don't compensate to come closer to the earth by bringing your feet out too wide. So it has some stability. So the feet are parallel. You're spilling forward at the pelvis. Bend the elbows. I'm going to bring the crown of my head toward the block. You have a closed chain with your palms, so they can either be on the earth, it can be wrapped around your ankles, the outer edges of your feet, wherever you find the most stability. Taking a couple of breaths here. If your palms have wandered away from under the shoulders, bring them back in. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, gentle bend in the knee as the palms come to the hip creases. Inhale, hinge up. Exhale, step toward the front of your mat. I'm going to bring my props along with me, take a sip of water, so do whatever you need to do. And then settle back into Tadasana. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold it forward. Half lift on your inhale. Exhale, step back to plank, or you can find your child's pose. Inhale, shift forward slightly. Exhale, release the knees if you need to, coming halfway or all the way. Inhale, press the heart forward. Exhale, hips up and back. Downward facing dog, knowing that child's pose is available. Otherwise, take a few breaths here. Feel the length and the extension of the spine and the backs of the legs. Okay, since I am not turned toward the camera, I'm going to be moving with you at the same cueing, not mirroring.
Inhale, reach your right leg up. We're gonna stay here for a couple of breaths, so really focus on extension. If your right hip is lifting out to the side, rather than the hips being nice and neutral, so if you wanna look toward the camera, I will demo what we shouldn't be doing just to protect our long-term health. So if the hip is lifted up and out, that means you might wanna lower the foot a little bit. Actively press through your right heel. Exhale in one or more steps as you round the spine. Step the right foot up next to the right thumb. Yep, that got me. See, I am human. I love proving that every day. So we are in a modified lunge. Bending through the right knee. Right thigh is a shelf for our torso. I'm going to step my back foot just slightly forward so I find more stability when we lift up. Inhale, hinge up from the hips, reach the arms up. This is our crescent pose. Actively press into the ball of the left foot. So when you bring the palms to the hips for a moment, take the arms out of the equation. And now, on an inhale, lengthen through the chest. Exhale, just hinge slightly forward, keeping the lower body where it's at. Reach the arms along the side body, active through the fingertips. So you want to keep the lower body where it's at. We're definitely building some strength. Inhale, lift up through the torso and the arms. Pull the lower ribs in throughout this practice. Exhale, arms along the side. Shine the heart down a little bit. Or shine the heart forward, but bring the torso slightly down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down and forward. 2 more times. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down and forward. Last time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down and forward. Keep the fingertips reaching back. Keep the torso forward. Slowly bring the palms to the earth. Release the left knee. And then draw the hips back in space. I'm going to reach for my blocks. Draw the hips back in space, so they're going to stack a little bit on top of the left knee. I wiggle my left heel forward a little bit because I'm short of the torso, longer in the legs. So shine the heart forward. Now I'm looking at the camera just a moment to see about the extension in my spine. Very simple word. Now watch, or definitely stay in the pose if you're feeling it. So without the blocks, so I'm kind of rounding forward. With the blocks though, I have room to really extend through the spine. So you do you, toes are coming toward the body, really feeling it along the back of the right leg. 2 more breaths here. Now slowly, after those 2 breaths, when you are ready, exhale, rebend into the right knee, move the blocks out of the way, but still accessible for the next round. Palms frame the front foot, tuck the left toe, lift the back leg, step back to plank. If that's what you would like to do, is find your flow. Inhale, shift forward slightly. Exhale. Inhale, heart shining forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. And a long breath out. Inhale, lengthen the left leg up behind you. Remember, we're going to hang here for a couple of breaths. So with the hips neutral, actively pressing through the left foot. And to avoid the left hip lifting up, maybe that means you lower the leg a little bit. All about lengthening. Not about having to reach higher, but reaching back. Exhale, round the spine, create space. Pull the knee in toward the chest, step the left foot up next to the left thumb. Maybe bring the blocks back so you're ready for them. Go ahead and bring the palms to the blocks for now. So you're actively pressing through the ball of the right foot. Left knee stacks on top of the left ankle, so your thigh is that wonderful shelf for your torso right now. As you inhale, lengthen,
finding our crescent pose. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. I'm definitely feeling some of the heat. I turned the AC on, but I feel it. That means I hope that you feel it too. And now we've connected and it got weird. But hey, it feels like the old times. So as you are ready, bring the palms to the hips. Reach the torso forward and down. So we're kind of hinging forward, keeping the left knee bent and the legs stable. Now reach the arms back behind you, active through the fingertips. Inhale, lifting up to crescent, and we'll find our flow. Exhale, arms reach back behind you, torso comes forward and slightly down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, forward, arms back. Inhale, lift. Exhale, torso forward, arms back. 2 more times. I know we can do this together. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, arms back. Inhale, crescent, last time. Exhale, arms back. Keep the arms back this time. Shine the heart forward. Bring the palms to the blocks if they're there. Release the back knee. And then exhale, bring the hips back in space. This is where I wiggle my left heel slightly forward, draw the palms, the blocks back a little bit so our hips are stacked on top of the right knee. Toes coming toward your torso. Now again, notice without blocks or maybe tenting the fingertips, how you can find the most extension in the spine rather than rounding. Really feeling the opening along the back of your left leg. Shoulders away from the ears. Two more deep breaths here. As you are ready, slowly rebend into the left knee, move any props, palms frame the left foot, tuck the right toes, lift the right knee, press back to plank. Inhale, shift forward slightly. Exhale, come halfway or all the way. Inhale, heart shines forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths here, and when you are ready, bring the knees to the earth, find your child's pose. If you're wanting more heat, maybe you find another flow. I'm going to take a sip of water, come to stillness for a moment, while you rest in child's pose or whatever it is that is part of your practice at this moment. There's no rush. As you are ready, slowly bring the palms toward the knees, lift the shoulders. Shift the feet to one side so the legs can extend in front of you. And let's take a half Dandasana for a moment. Finding some neutrality. Ankles are flexed so the toes are coming toward the torso. Either palms at the thighs or just outside the hips. Inhale. Side out. Now bend the knees just a little bit. If you have blocks or some sturdy stacked book that might work underneath your hips or a big bolster, I'm going to work with you, if you would like, on a supported bridge. So if you have particularly really soft foam blocks and you want extra extension, if you have 2, you could stack the 2 on top of each other. If you have a sturdy cork block or a really sturdy hard foam, you can, if you have the mobility in the spine, you can bring a block to the highest height. But again, not if it's the flimsier, softer foam, because that's not going to have the support that you need. I will demo just stacking both blocks at the lowest height because I think that's the safest. And again, don't feel left out if you don't have blocks. I'm demoing a supported bridge just to help with some extension if needed. So, as you are ready, come to the middle of your mat. If you're not, reach the arms along the sides of the knees. And then exhale, come down whatever way is best for you. Now once you're down, bring the feet underneath the knees, about hip width apart. Then you'll want to lift the heels, so kind of coming to the tippy toes, positioning your block or blocks underneath. And if you're not there, if you don't have blocks, I'll cue you to come up in a moment. So the blocks are going to come just underneath the sacrum. So a little bit of the fleshy part of the buttocks. We're not really on the low back. We also want to make sure that once you're lifted, you're not turning your head one way or the other. So one of the beauties of practicing at home, you could be watching on the video for a moment, pause or rewind if you'd like. So notice you want to maybe bring the feet back just a little bit, so keep the neck nice and neutral. In fact, I'm going to step off my heels just a little bit, bring the blocks just a little bit higher. So try it out for a moment. And now maybe bring the palms alongside the body. So for those of you that want to work into bridge without blocks, I will cue you. I'm going to stay in my supported bridge here, but I will definitely cue you. So as you are ready, palms press into the earth, feet press into the earth. Inhale, lift your hips. And choosing to stay here for a few breaths, maybe you interlace the fingers below you, really press into the outer edges of the arms. Keep the chin and neck neutral. Think about lengthening through the back of the neck. For those of you without blocks, or even with blocks, point the knees forward and energetically drag the heels back. So for those of you without blocks, stay in for maybe 3 to 5 breaths. And then when you come out, let the knees kind of windshield wipe a couple of times. You can come back into it, or you can just rest. If you're in the supported version with a block or two, you're welcome to stay here, or maybe you bend the knees and then reach the legs up. I don't practice shoulder stand without this kind of supported version. Just some various neck issues I've had. So again, what I'm demoing and practicing here is completely optional. For those of you that were in a non-supported bridge, if you would like to do Viparita Karani, which is legs up the wall, which basically this is kind of a version of that by having the blocks underneath my seat, you can reach the arms down, just like your bridge prep, and then lift the legs up, point the toes. So rather than flexing the feet, which makes that more active, let's point the toes up towards the ceiling. And without the blocks, maybe after a few breaths it doesn't feel as sustainable, so hang up as long as you like in your metaphorical legs up the wall. So take a few more breaths wherever you are. Now for those of us that are in our supported version, slowly bend the knees as you exhale, bring the feet to the earth. Press into the toes, lift the hips. If you have 2 blocks, just let one block out for a moment. Bring the seat to the remaining block. And now press into the feet, lift the hips a little bit, remove both blocks. Now let the knees sway from side to side. So we were all maybe doing our own thing for a moment or two. So now let's come back to the bridge prep, just so that when I say bridge prep, we're not coming back into another one, but the knees are going to stack on top of the hips. No, the knees are going to stack on top of the ankles, which are hip width apart. And now widen through the knees, bring the soles of the feet together. Supta Baddha Konasana. So the feet can be close to the pelvis, that might be a deeper stretch, or you could slide the feet a little further away, more of a diamond shape. Bring one palm to the low belly, one palm to the heart space. Let the shoulders come away from the ears. Lengthen the tailbone toward the heels. And breathe into the space between your palms. Finding some stillness with everything, except the rhythm of the breath and the rise and fall of the belly and the chest. Take a couple more rounds of natural breath. I'm going to cue us through an extended exhale for 2 rounds, and then I'll ask you to continue at your own pace. So the goal is to lengthen your exhale count by at least 1, 2, or maybe even 3 counts longer than your inhale, just to start to slow things down. We may have moved very slow, but I would imagine that you have felt some of the strengthening. Maybe you're feeling a little tired, so we want to start to get the parasympathetic nervous system going, a relaxation response. Just empty out all the stale breath. Inhale the nose for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale through the nose. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue that for a number of rounds. I'm going to be silent with my cueing so I can get some of the benefits of the breath with you. So let our own breath be our soundtrack. Take that extended exhale for a number of cycles, knowing that if at any time with the knees bent out in this butterfly shape that doesn't feel great, you can extend the legs. Take a few rounds of that extended exhale. Maybe take another round of that extended exhalation. And then if there's any other postures that you would like to find before Shavasana, take the time to do that. Grab any props that you might like. And as you are ready, there's no rush, you're doing your own thing, but exhale, extend the legs, let the feet splay out. Bring the arms along the side body, palms face up is more comfortable for me, but do what feels good for you. Maybe a rolled up blanket underneath the knees, or a blanket underneath the head, whatever feels good. And in fact, this time, sometimes if you're looking for more grounding, having a blanket on top of the hip area. Just trying to mix it up just a little bit for you all. And as you are ready, if you're not there, come into a shape that is best for you for your final rest. All this movement of the body and the breath for the last hour or so reminds us of our energy, of our strength, of the possibilities that we have
when we move, breathe, and think intentionally. And just as important as it is for those intentions, it's equally important to let that go when the time comes. And friends, the time has come. Finding some stillness, letting the thoughts go, even the thoughts of the breath. I will cue us out of Shavasana after a number of minutes, but know that you can stay here as long as you like. Enjoy your Shavasana. You are welcome to stay in your Shavasana as long as you like, only as you are ready. Start to make subtle movements with the breath and the body, coming back to earth. But I encourage you to keep the eyes closed if that feels okay. When you're ready, bending your knees one at a time into your chest, being mindful of the low back as you roll to one side and rest here for a breath or more. There's absolutely no rush. When you're ready with the eyes closed, press into your outer palm, come up to a seat, just as we began. Elbows underneath the shoulders. For a sense of grounding, palms face down,
Bring the thumb just on top of the index finger as you curl it in. If you're seeking a bit of openness and receiving energy, of course, you can turn the palms face up. Stay here for a couple of breaths. If you set an intention at the beginning of practice, I invite you to bring it back to your mind. And if you didn't, but something came to you throughout practice or during Shavasana, hold that intention in your heart space. We'll send it out into the world one more time with a deep open mouth exhalation and then an optional Om. Inhale, palms to the heart space. Sigh it out. Inhale for Om. Loka, Samasta, Sukhi no, Bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. May the thoughts, words, and actions of our own lives contribute in some way to that happiness and freedom for all. Namaste. Thank you again for an opportunity to find community and connection with my yogis, wherever you may be practicing. Enjoy the rest of your day, and you know how to reach us if you would like to find out more about our classes, or if you'd like to donate. That information is available online. 100% of donations are going to local organizations and businesses. So far I've supported the food bank as well as Samaritan House and various restaurants. But the two primary organizations, I'm open to suggestions. I know our teachers are donating to a number of different places like the Up Center, the United Way, For Kids, and of course if you'd like to give a donation on your own, maybe leave a comment on YouTube or Facebook, wherever it is you're accessing the class of where you're supporting. Thank you so much. See you next time.